Hey there, good morning. It is 10:49 a.m. It is November 18th and it is Tuesday morning. I just got back from the store. So I'm really happy to say that the rain has finally cleared up and today is a very nice sunny day. I thought it was going to be cold outside, so like I actually started off this morning with a hat as well as a winter coat as well as some gloves, right? Because I kept thinking it was going to be cold outside, but surprisingly, it really wasn't. It was a little chilly when I first got out. And then as I started walking, I'm like, I don't even need a coat. I don't need these gloves. I'm okay. So, I think I kind of overdid it. So anyway, I was doing a lot of thinking as I was walking to the store. And of course, a lot of this had to do with, my situation in general. My day started off with me there's a little stray kitty that hangs out around the house, so we let the kitty in from time to time, and we it's not ours, it's just a neighborhood cat, right? And we feed it and then send it on its way or whatever. And so I had this notice on the door from my landlord, and see, I've dealt with this company before. Now, what my son needs to understand is that when you are a victim of human trafficking, the first people that they're going to involve in your targeting is, of course, your real estate company. Okay, now why is this? Is because this is your home. Now, I'm not saying that this particular, yeah, and yes, we are late on the rent. Okay, I know my son just got off of his disability. He just went back to work. When he got his first check from work, I don't know how much it was, so he decided to wait to pay the rent. He's paying it this Friday, and we generally are late on the rent because of this arrangement that we've been placed in. Okay, now, we had every intention of paying on Friday, but we did get a notice on the door. And you know what? If they put a notice on the door because we're late, they have the right to do this. But the problem with it is that I fully understand. Okay, I fully understand that yes, my real estate company is involved with my targeting. Okay, maybe they're not active in it now. I do know what's been going on in the community right now is an understanding of what these people have done, the severity of the issue. Okay, the illegal activity of the issue. So, there's a lot of when you are dealing with human trafficking, you can expect people to do like passive aggressive type things, okay? And so, usually I'm aware of how much is due, right? So, and I've always, made sure that it gets paid at a certain time. So I personally do feel as though, and I'm not trying to like say that I'm confirming this or any meditation is that I prefer not to have that close of interaction with my real estate company, or I'm going to call it a real estate company, but my rental place, right? Because I know, okay, just like, certain things that go on in here, it is a community harassment organized crime syndicate is what was going on in this community. And like I said, I do believe that the people in my rental company, they do now understand that I did not deserve any of their nonsense. I did not have, I was not supposed to be bullied. I was not supposed to have people mess with my employment. I was not supposed to be gang stalked in any way, shape, or form. Okay, and so, what is being brought to light is the shenanigans that these people had actually put out in the community, and people coming to find out that I was right. Okay, and still, you know what I mean. What happens is these people originally were a part of a team that they were hell bent on winning. Okay, and like I said, I didn't want any part of it, but because I'm right. Remember what I said about people saying, "Whatever you want, you get." This sort of attitude starts to develop. Do I believe that this notice on my door was a form of some sort of, you whatever you want, you get? Yes, I do believe that. Okay, so I'm just basically letting my son know, and hopefully he does watch my videos. I'm pretty sure he watches my videos at some point. Okay, he may not, let me know that he does, but let's just make sure the rent gets paid on Friday. Okay, you were going to do that anyway, but let's make sure it does. Also, what my son needs to also understand is that if there's issues with his bank, that is also something is most likely to be orchestrated by the underground network. Any sort of plot or plan needs to cease and desist at this very moment. It needs to stop. Okay. As for my rental company, the only time I communicate with them is when I make a payment. That is all done online. I do not communicate with these people. I do not want to have any email exchanges with these people. I do not want to have any communication with these people at all. And this is not me trying to create a fight. It is trying to avoid one. I am well aware of how things like COINTELPRO works, how organized crime works. And like I said, if you are a victim of human trafficking, 100% of the time, your rental company is involved in it. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that this has something to do with them being in some sort of competition with me because of them trying to they're angry, okay? Some sort of anger issue about me being in a relationship with Vladimir Putin, a very distant relationship with it. See, these people know gossip on me before I even know it. Okay. And like I said, Vladimir Putin has just recently been circulating in my third eye. Why? Because most people probably knew about this whole issue before I even did. And by the way, okay, I went to the grocery store today. And as I was there, I remember when I was younger, my mom used to sit there and like throw me change, as I was leaving to the store to make sure I got the Star and the Enquirer, right? I always roll my eyes at that. But anyway, apparently that magazine is still in publication. So I was sitting there at the line. I looked up and there was Putin's face, there was Trump's face, and they're sitting there talking about nuclear war and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm laughing at it. Why? Because I don't care. First of all, I don't care about what the tabloids say. Okay, I don't look beyond the cover. There's been times where I will pick up a newspaper and I will read beyond the cover, especially but because I understand that these particular individuals are being highlighted because I've mentioned them in my video. I don't want to read I will not read the article, like I said. But when it comes to I don't really know. I mean, I've always believed that things were going pretty fine. Well, as far as our interactions with this particular country. I am in no way somebody who chooses to get involved with any sort of, issues or anything like that. My issue is, Putin is someone that I am connected with through my past life. Okay. And this is what it is. Okay. So, I understand him being who he is. He's probably went through all kinds of drama, just like everybody. I'm rolling my eyes as I'm saying this because we know it's true, right? So, I do have an affection for him. And what these people are is they're angry. They're angry, okay? But, the thing is that it's none of their business. The intuitive message I'm getting is that a lot of people do feel resentment because I'm more intelligent than the rest of the United States. Okay. And a lot of people think it's funny because, obviously I have to deal with the most ridiculous stuff that you can even imagine. Okay. The things that go on illegally that these people, get away with. And when they try to make me a victim of it, oh no, I'm going to sit here and call it out. And I can feel the attention that a lot of people feel because I unraveled and identified their underground crime syndicate. Okay, yeah, I can feel it. I understand. There's some people who are very big supporters of me, but I also understand there's a lot of people who are pissed off. But the sad part is they don't have anyone to be pissed off with other than themselves. Okay, because I cannot be blamed for any of it. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that as of November 12th, clones are now recognized as humans and all rights are granted. Meaning, yes, I have a social security card. That means that I have the ability to have a bank account. I have the right to have a credit card account. I have the right to seek employment. I have the right to do all of those things, okay? These people were making up rules as they went along based on their cult activity, okay? Yes, President Trump can have a vehicle if he wants to. The message I'm getting right now is, hey, I'm glad, Trump, that you like the idea of the adult education. And actually, I did decide to look at that video snippet of you. It was a comedy snippet. I do not know what it was, but it was like a short that I saw on YouTube. You had this mustache, and you were basically, it was a comedy skit that you were doing, and I thought it was funny. And what I'm saying is that people can use their talents to, get the message across about, workplace harassment and other issues, other civil issues relating to manners, behaviors, social etiquette, how people should behave properly in public. could be a good thing for adults to learn. And yes, I do get the intuitive message, and not just even the intuitive message, I feel it. Okay. So, like I said, there's a lot of people who were a part of the 533 mind control group, right? And they, in some way feel a little bit of this tension towards me because of me being right, and being able to prove myself. Okay. And like I said, I did not ask to be brought into this in the first place. So, like I said, for the rental company, yes, of course, your rent is going to get paid on time. That is, of course, if my son's bank does not try to play any sort of fast ones. Okay. And like I said, this whole thing is organized crime. So, you know what? You'll get your payment when you get your payment. And see, I understand the goal of these people is they wanted to make me financially dependent on them, which is illegal already. Okay. So they want to they want to try do put you in situations to where they're going to see how you're going to do with your money. I'm going to tell you right now what I'm going to do with my money when I get in certain situations that I know I shouldn't get in. Okay. So, like, for example, they might say, oh, well, Maria went out and bought weed when she knows good and well that she owes this is a late fee. Yeah, why I owe the late fee? Because you took me out of my job and whatever. So this is how I look at it. I'm going to eat, drink, and be merry because you know what? I'm going to live for today, meaning I'm going to please myself every single time because I know it's your fault in the first place. You understand? So when I see your little pitfalls and your little traps that you try to lay for me, I know that you're in the wrong in the first place. I know where all this stuff goes, how it all happened. So this is the reason why I didn't fill out the application for Alyssa. This is the Alyssa's application over at the CPAC because I knew that these people were they want to have control over stuff, and this is all a part of their orchestrated plan. No, thank you. Okay. So anyway. And the message I'm getting right now is I possess divine truth. I understand it. It is not anyone's responsibility to try to put people in these sort of plans, these sort of games, okay? And what people are disappointed of is that because I've recognized that people are not doing their jobs, okay, because of me having to experience this, okay, and a lot of people there's a lot of fear that's being felt right now because a lot of people are just not really equipped for their jobs, and they know eventually if their employer starts looking at them closer, they know that they've been sitting there twiddling their thumbs at their desk and possibly degrading their company image and their name. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of people who are angry, and these are the people who are possibly at risk of losing their job. Once again, now you know not to mess with me. Okay, so the rent will be paid on the day that it gets paid. And like I said, if my son experiences any problems with his bank, he needs to move to another financial institution because they could very well have it arranged to where, oh, the bank's going to put a hold on it, right? And so we're going to put a hold on the funds that you deposited. Therefore, I'm not going to be able to pay a rent on time. And so then they're going to sit here and try to charge me an additional. Don't you dare try to play that game with me. Okay, I understand. I am not going to sit here and play into your games. Okay, so right now I'm the one in total control. I'm in total control. Okay, because I understand how your little ops work. Okay, this is the kind of stuff they don't teach you in school. And see, this is what I'm talking about. People who deviate from company policy to participate in things like underground crime syndicates. And and I'm also going to talk about what happened with Alita just really quick. Okay, Alita was somebody who led her entire team into the pits of hell, and this is exactly what she did. That was all her fault, and she was the owner of that company. She was the owner of that company. Okay, so going forward, I'm not interested in playing anybody's games. Okay, my son needs to understand that yes, we do need to start paying the rent on time. Okay, we need to start paying the rent on time. Only because I just want to get back on schedule. Okay, I need to get back to work. I want to start paying my bills. I want my credit cards back. I want my bank everything back. Okay, no, if my son is experiencing stupid bank personnel, he needs to change accounts. Okay, it really is that simple. My son is very naive when it comes to this human trafficking program, but I'm going to tell my son right now, you need to be very leery of these people. Okay, do not sit here and fall into any of their garbage. And yes, these people are upset because I found out about their trafficking ring. Okay, cease and desist any of your little, what do you call it, passive aggressive type, let me try to get some sort of jab at me. You don't have any reason to get a jab at me. Okay, it is all your fault, all of it. Okay. And see, like I was talking about, like, sometimes employers want to retaliate when you report them to the appropriate authorities. Let's just say, for example, you're dealing with an issue of sexual harassment. Okay. And you go to like a particular, maybe a lawyer, or maybe you report it. See, the FCC, yeah, people audit the FCC. Okay. You need to audit the EEOC, or all these pieces, the EEOC, all these places, all these little, acronym type places, and I will list them in my next video, okay? These people need to be audited because they too can be, brainwashed by vigilante groups. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. We need to dig in and deeply, and this is where they are, okay? But let's just say, for example, you are experiencing something like sexual harassment, racial harassment, religious, any sort of harassment that you know is protected by law. Okay, so you report that. Then all of a sudden they find out that you report it, and then they sit there and they try to do subtle tactics, such as maybe like, change your work assignments at work, right? To give you less duties or responsibilities. This is something Alita did to me at my last job, okay? But this is an example of people who tried to retaliate for you rightfully reporting them. Okay. And see, retaliation behaviors come out in a lot of people. Do I think that notice on the door was a retaliation behavior? I understand it was legal. I understand, yes, our rent is late and that she has a right to put it on there. But do you think it has something to do with me winning this issue? Yeah, I do. Okay. And so this is one reason why I'm well aware. Do not ever put another note on my door ever again. The intuitive message I'm getting is, yes, I possess divine truth. Okay. I'm done with your stupid garbage. The intuitive message I'm getting is that, yes, people do support the idea of having adult education. Okay. And see, here's the thing. They should have known all of this when they got their 4-year degree. If they took any classes in psychology, if they took any classes in sociology, if they took any business administration classes. See, this is what I'm saying. You're taking all of these classes that you went to for your schooling, and you're supposed to be able to use them all in full function in your working in daily life. And this is what people fail to do. So do not give me any more retaliations. Like I said, I do not choose to interact with any of these people on any level. You'll get your rent when you get your rent, and let's leave it at that. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that people do respect the fact that I am a woman and I have made this sort of progress, okay? I am very interested in workplace education. And yes, I would like to work with some really cool people of my soul tribe in my projects, okay? But like I said, right now my main goal is to get to work. I had thought about showcasing, and I did recall sending out some sort of communication to lawyers' offices, wanting to get together and have like a scheduled meeting to talk about promoting things like education, the moral reset. Maybe do it through a lawyer office, or maybe do it to some other company. Maybe I could do it through like a software company or somewhere that I feel as though it's going to get me one step further. Okay. But whatever the case is, yeah, I mean, I am somebody, because I'm an occupational engineer and understand the different aspects of business. I feel as though I can work in any different sort of capacity, meaning like, I could training, you know what I mean? Like I said, I wanted to work with Fred Pryor at one time. Now I'm considering myself Gordon Occupational Engineering. I am now going to be number one in education, employment education. Okay. But anyway, I need to get a regular job, and see, working as a regular job, I could get paid with a check cut to my name as Gordon Occupational Engineering, or get it paid to me as Maria Gordon as an employee. It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter what I do, what kind of job I have. I'm always going to work through Gordon's Occupational Engineering, because I legally have the right to. And why? Because it's important that people understand what my skill level is. When I took the job over at Laverne and Son, okay, I felt as though that was a professional dive for me. Why? Because, I'm supposed to be working upward. I'm supposed to be working upward. There's times where sometimes you have to take a job, and you may not want to, but that job was strategically meant to bring my portfolio or my work, my resume, my job listing, my value down. And no, Okay, I know what I'm worth. Okay, I know what I'm worth. My last job that I was making over $40 an hour. I know that I'm worth that. Okay. Also, I know that I'm most likely not going to get that in my next job. Okay. And when I talked about being compensated, yes, I should have been compensated. I should have been able to go to a lawyer and let these people know what was going on, and I should have been able to get compensated. But I know lawyers were very much fixated on being a part of the organized crime. Yes, we have Kern County is number one in California for organized crime, specifically human trafficking. And Maria Gordon is putting a dent in it. The intuitive message I'm getting is I possess divine truth. Some people are excited about the workplace education. Yes, I am going to replace Fred Pryor in workplace education. I am determined to do it. I know that Fred Pryor, there was a time that this company did not have any interest in taking any sort of communication with me whatsoever, because these people did not want me to have any I wanted to pitch my ideas to Fred Pryor because I felt as though my ideas had value. Okay. And these people were a part of the network. They were going to shut me out. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that my path is clear to achieve all my wishes. Great. The next thing I want to talk about is people who have seen human targets. I do believe that this provides more information than what is actually required in California for what most people are in certain industries like transportation, whether that be the airline, the bus system, or whatever. Okay. People need to understand and identify human trafficking, which I do believe there were certain members of personnel at the Get Bus station. Okay, I mentioned one time bus 45 did not pick me up. I know that it's required for them to have training in human resources. I mean, not human resources, in human trafficking. Okay, but like I said, I know that information is incomplete. Okay, because I will tell you right now, if bus 45 would have picked me up if they were adequately trained. Okay, yes, this is a form of human trafficking. It is. Okay, and the message I'm getting is about something about a clone. Clones have every right to live like everyone else. You're not even supposed to be pointing us out, okay? I mean, you would never know who a clone really is. I mean, some blend in more than others, but still, I mean, that's ridiculous. It's wrong, and that is probably initiated by these underground Christian groups. And whoever initiated it, I'm going to make sure, we need to dig deeper and make sure they come to justice. That's bullshit, okay? You don't do that to another human being. You're conspiring, okay? And so one of the things I'm talking about in this emergency response video, how this is not particularly my industry, okay? But there are certain people who are getting flagged for who are not going to get assistance. Like, for example, the BPD, right? Who seem real nonchalant when they answer the phone. Big mistake, okay? I do believe clones may be targeted. Certain minorities might be targeted pertaining to race, religion, could be sex, marriage status, whatever, okay? Whatever the case is, when people call 911, we need to make sure that everybody gets assisted, okay? And like I said, if we need to bring this to AI, if AI needs to replace jobs in these sectors, then so be it. Then so be it, okay? Because, I'm tired of people not doing their jobs and putting everyone else's life in jeopardy. So this is the tension that I felt earlier today. I felt this tension because people know that they're in the wrong. There's a lot of tension and worry in the atmosphere. Why? Because people know, oh, they got stuff on their computer. Oh, they do this and they do that. Well, you know what? Like I said, you put yourself in this situation. The intuitive message I'm getting is congratulations. I won the gang stalking and human trafficking battle. I am free and I am protected 100%. Thank you. And I possess divine truth. Okay. And so, yes, I wanted to talk more about the heavenly gift. Heaven is our ultimate goal, is where we're supposed to go. And many years ago, centuries ago, we've had people who wanted to clone individuals, okay, for just being who we are. And we are special individuals. And it has been foretold that one day we were going to find out and we were going to go to heaven. Meaning, and so this is what I'm saying. If you choose to come back here another round, then let's try to make this into the best earth that we possibly can, okay? But most people are saying that they want to go to heaven. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is I have the ability to wish the darkness of death on anyone. And wow, you know what I mean? And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go on with my life. I want to go on with my life. finish out the rest of my life, and I want to do good work. And I want to help make the world better. The intuitive message I'm getting is I possess divine truth. And yes, people are appreciative of my adult education idea. I'm looking forward to actually doing that. Also, people are happy about the heavenly message because um, heaven is really where our souls are should be at the end of our life. Okay, and like I said, because we can, inhabit different bodies through the process of creation, reincarnation, like cloning or whatever. That's still good. I mean, because like some people want to come back. My issue is that they brought me back. And the hamster wheel is just absurd. Okay, the hamster wheel is absurd because Phoebe Berganza was being attacked in a country that had freedom of religion, and then they brought me back to deal with the same nonsense. It's like, it's absurd. So anyway, I do get the intuitive message that yes, my discoveries of human trafficking and the government shut down made the major news, and this is what I'm talking about, like true understanding of how things work in society, like sociology. How do things flow? And this is how I personally feel as though this whole human trafficking issue must have been well known among Christian people. Okay, but they chose to ignore it. Okay, if you were truly a sociologist, you would know good and well that you were the cork in the entire economy, that you were creating all of these problems. Okay, no shit. It's a no-brainer. Okay, but like I said, Christianity for some reason has been, preventing people from getting true education. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is yes, I should create it so to where it is a constant state of moving forward and to get rid of the human scrap heap. Okay, the human scrap heap, the people who just are wicked. They're just wicked. Okay. So I do not want to see any more wickedness. I don't want to see any more notes on my door. I know when the rent's due. And I get the intuitive message that I am at peace with all religions. Okay. And I'm a peaceful person. I want people to have enjoyable lives. I believe in that. I totally do. The message I'm getting right now is that people are acknowledging me for my creations, and that people are focusing a lot on my relationship with Vladimir Putin. And there might be a lot of people who might be very jealous of me having a relationship with Vladimir Putin. Mind you, Vladimir Putin is way, way on the other side of the world. But I do have a soft spot for him because I do believe that he is a beautiful person. The intuitive message I'm getting is that Christianity is dying and people couldn't be happier. That's wonderful. I mean, I'm not saying that you should abandon your spirituality. I'm talking about the cult. I'm talking about this cult stuff that's going on, okay? Um, also, it seems as though there's a lot of supporters that want me to befriend and be closer to Vladimir Putin. And so, I definitely want at some point, once I get stable, for Vladimir Putin to come out here to the United States, so we can actually talk and, be friends, and of course work on projects together. So anyway, and that includes, I want Trump to be on in there too, and I would love Elon Musk to join the group and everything else. And I know that people are getting readings on me, on psychic readings on me to try to find out what I'm thinking about. Yeah, of course, I think about Vladimir Putin, okay, but like I said, I'm also thinking about climbing out of this hellhole, which is, that's the first thing I think about, okay? Like, I need to get a job, okay? I want to be able to make sure that I make my rent on time, and not because of the notices. Just I don't like interacting with people. Okay, I don't like giving people any opportunity to say shit to me. Why? Because everything that they have to say is nonsense and a waste of my time. So I would just prefer just to stay away from, and I'm not trying to be mean to the executive property place. It's just that I know good and well how gang stalking works. Okay, so don't even try me ever again, ever again. Okay, I'm trying to move through and have peace going forward. So this is just your warning, okay? I do get the intuitive message that a lot of people are. The message I'm getting is that Maria and Vladimir, our friendship is very desired in around the world. A lot of people are very happy that there's a friendship, and people want us to get closer in friendship. And I think that's wonderful. And I'm all for it. God knows I'm lonely shit, but anyway, what else did I want to say? I got this intuitive message that I should expect compensation now. I want to, and I am not somebody by any means that wants to, wait, something, friend. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Vladimir Putin. I do. I like Vladimir Putin. Okay. Yeah, I like him. Okay. So, we need to get to know each other first. Okay. So, anyway, something about, something about, hang on a second. Paste it, music, okay, so people are talking about me being single. Okay, me being single, and now you know why. Okay, I've been dealing with human trafficking, running from people. I've never been able to trust people. I cannot trust people. I don't like interacting with people. Okay, because most people who come at me with some sort of attitude. Why? Because they've been highly indoctrinated by the church, or not so much the church, but the church cult, this Christian type cult type behavior. I don't want to sit there and focus on the church, like the actual, you know what I'm talking about, these cults, okay? I don't like interacting with people because they usually have some sort of attitude with them. And like I said, and this includes like my landlords and stuff like that, because I understand how gang stalking works, okay? So people who know me, they need to know how to interact with me, okay? I don't want to see your papers or your anything from any emails or anything. I know I know how much the rent pay is owed each month. I know if I get a late fee, I know how much the late fee is. I know when it's due. Do not communicate with me anymore. Okay. I do want to say something about this issue about me. I did get a vehicle. Somebody donated me a vehicle. Something about violence against overweight women. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, something about that. Anyway, apparently this vehicle needs to get cleaned out. Okay, it needs to get cleaned out from the previous owner. Okay, my son has reported to me that this car has like bed bugs in it, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, the car needs to be fumigated. Okay, that's crazy, but it does. Okay, I'm not going to get into the car until it gets fumigated, but we're probably going to be working on that this weekend. Okay, but yes, I deserved compensation. These people made it so that I lost my vehicle. These people made it so that my credit got damaged. These people made it so that I was not able to get a job. And of course, like I said, my landlord is in on it. So, how dare you send me a late notice? I find you very offensive, and do not ever communicate with me again. The intuitive message I'm getting is it does have something to do with Vladimir Putin. Okay. If you're jealous or something, that's not how you handle it. Okay. Like, people need to do their jobs correctly regardless of how they feel. If you're not big enough, strong enough, mature enough to handle your emotions, then I don't know what to tell you. You really don't need to have a job. Okay. You don't do that sort of stuff. Okay. The other message I'm getting is that now it is understood that who King Solomon is, and yes, I am King Solomon reincarnated. I am also the another many figures that the Bible has covered, and this is why I've gotten all this attention my entire life. And yes, including, I'm going to pronounce his name as Yeshua. Some people pronounce the name as Jesus. Okay, but I like to say the Yeshua. But yeah, that's who I am. And so I think some people, may have wanted to see me in a certain way, because, Jesus has been whitewashed and whatever. But no, this is who I am, and I've always been this way. The church may not have liked it, but this is how I am. The intuitive message I'm getting is that the elites have discovered their past lives, and I think that's really cool. And I'm glad that they support my philosophy in life. Also, people are excited about learning and working with me. I'm excited about doing that too. I just want to make sure that, when people communicate with me, they do so politely. One thing I pick up right away is when people try to challenge me. I'm not here to challenge. This is what people do because they've been used to um, being in competition with me. Okay, I'm not somebody who wants to deal with competition. I do have a job to do. Okay, I understand what my niche is. I understand what I'm good at. I understand, and this is what I'm supposed to be making a living on, my skills. Okay, and that's it. I get very irritated when people think that everything I do is a form of competition, or people want to see me. They want me to pay attention to what they're doing because they want to. I really find that to be disrespectful, especially when this is not my intention. Okay, I don't like it. I don't. Okay, you're not going to win any. Some people think they're winning brownie points with me when they do this. Or I've also noticed, like in conversations with people, they'll act like they're 10 times more intelligent. Like they'll start like doing this with their glasses and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, please don't do that. Don't do that. But see, I understand that people get intimidated by me, and I'm not trying to be this way. Okay, but just speak with me. As calm and relaxed as you possibly can, because I'm one of those people. I just want to focus on the situation at hand. I don't want drama. You know what I mean? I don't want drama. And, this is who I am. I do not like it when people try to play me down or sit here to try to encourage me to do certain things that they may want me to do. I am not interested in playing your games. It's, as a matter of fact, if you want to be on my shit list, that's one of the things you should do. The intuitive message I'm getting is yes, a heavenly gift is real and beautiful for everyone. Yes, it is. Okay. But yes, this is who I am. This is how I am. This is how I appear. This is how I work and operate. And, it is what it is. Okay. I'm proud of who I am. I believe in my life 100%. And I resent people who try to, change that. I don't change other people because I understand that they need to be comfortable in their skins, okay? If they're not, to me, by people who bother me indicates that they're not comfortable with themselves. So if you want to change yourself, then you need to do that. You need to change yourself if that's what you want. Beautification is, of course, of the divine, and I am somebody who fully believes in it. The intuitive message I'm getting is that there are certain people who are safe for me to, look for employment at. I would prefer to be around people who are more civilized, more cultivated. That is important for me, okay? To me, if you were truly educated, you too would be more civilized and cultivated and want to be around people who are civilized and cultivated, okay? But I understand that this particular group was really all not really there. People do recognize the fact that I do know more than so-called educated people, and that yes, people do acknowledge that. I I'm getting these sort of ideas or this message that I am going to be walking into places where it is for my highest good, okay? Because I am so tired of having to deal with low grade people. I'm tired of it. Okay, tired of it. Tired of it. Okay, I prefer to be around people who who are civilized, who understand, like they're not going to invade my space to that degree. It's like, this is who I am. Do not, and I don't sit here and try to change you. Don't try to change me. I resent that. I hate it more than anything in the world. And I will not ever forgive people who do that to me. I'm proud to be who I am. And yeah, the message I'm getting is yes, the Force Network knows I hate them and want nothing to do with them. And I'm very glad. Okay, and that includes people of my past that I may not have communicated with in a long time. It's just like, you have no idea how disturbing it is for me to communicate with people who mistreated me that way. And I don't really care how you slice it, it can't be excused. It cannot be excused, okay? It's like, whether you're brainwashed to do it, then that means that you would be willing to do something like that to another human being, okay? You want, and I just can't accept that. I can't accept it, okay? But anyway, so I am who I am. I'm very proud of what I believe, and I want to be able to flourish and promote my business ideas, in some way. Okay. And I am tired of dealing with just, low grade companies. And I regret being trafficked. I really do. Okay. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I am not going to sit here and watch any of these, like, snippets on Vladimir Putin, because I do fear that they could very well be filled with propagandist lies and all this sort of stuff. You know me, I am one of those people. I'm the alternative. Okay, I don't believe in anything I see. I question it all. Okay, but all I know right now is that I do know that President Trump knows that I'm sincere when I say that I'm his friend. I also know that Vladimir Putin knows that I'm his friend. I mean, we're not doing anything that's going to try to hurt you guys. Okay, maybe you guys might be on the opposite side of the spectrum or whatever, but we are indeed kind of in this together, meaning like we're all clones. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this video, and I need to be working. I'm going to be working more on my project tomorrow, and I've got a lot of things I'm working on. I'm also working on my newsletter that I'm going to be releasing in January. So, you know, I'm excited about being away from the kids from 533. Okay. Right now, I'm just letting people know who interacted with me, who have interacted with me in the past. This includes my rental company. Like I said, we need to move together in peace. Let's just bring peace. I understand. But your notices to me are nothing more than a jab. So do not ever send in any of them anymore. The intuitive message I'm getting is that yes, I possess divine truth. I know what you're doing. Okay. So now that I identified it, do not ever do it again. Don't ever do it again. I do not need to hear from you. I know what the fees are. Okay. And you will get your payment. Okay. And like I said, if you don't get your payment, then chances are the bank that my son banks on is probably playing games with him. And then, like I said, I am not going to play any of your stupid organized crime games. Okay. And so this goes out to my soul tribe, you know, who's aware of this. This is what I'm talking about. We need more auditing in these agencies. This is what I'm going to be talking about in my next presentation. I'm not sure if I should just make it all for emergency systems, or I should also include other organizations. I did include like the Department of Human Trafficking in Human Targets. I talked about the possibility of having vigilantes in these organizations. You know, I do think it's important periodically for companies to get together, just like, you know, do a quick human trafficking brief. You know, hey, do you know anybody in the company, asking your employees, do you know anybody in the company who is being stalked? Do you know anybody who is participating in some sort of human trafficking thing? Do you know anybody who's being isolated, meaning like isolated within the company? Because all of these things are identifiers of human trafficking, and this is what upper management should be doing, not focusing on human trafficking 100%. They've got other things they need to do. Okay. But I'm saying is, in order to combat this, you know, genocide that is going on in the United States and other countries, this is the steps that need to be taken. So anyway, I'm looking forward to working on this project. I might expand it to other industries and just do it in different sections, because the emergency system is something that needs to be focused on. And then also, yeah, you know, I think I will throw that in there. But anyway, I do want to make these videos quick and concise, and that is going to be my next blast. Right now, I am still looking for work, but I am going to be sending out, I plan on sending out blast, these educational videos, whether I'm working or not. I still am identified with Gordon Occupation. I'm always going to be Gordon's Occupational Engineering. Why? Because I'm no fool. Okay, people should always have another plan. They should always have a backup plan. And yes, that's my backup plan. Okay, so anyway, I am looking forward to working on this project and even more presenting it. And I'm going to wrap this video up, and I will be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Bye bye.